Thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to show you what I do with all these onions. So I grow onions every year. This year, I don't know what happened, but I had a glut of little itty bitty onions. So I don't know how they're going to last for the next couple months. So I've decided I'm going to do a little something extra with them. So these are my Elisa Craig onions. I actually bought these onion seeds on Baker Creek last spring, and these did better than my red onions. My red onions actually were very small. I had a few of these larger white onions, and they're a very strong, delicious onion. The red ones are a little bit milder, but these are all just extremely tender, delicious onions. So as you see, I've already, actually you can't see, but I've already picked the red onions about 2 weeks ago, and I let those cure outside. And all I'm doing today is just picking the rest of these yellow onions, and I'll be letting these cure another week or so, and then I'm going to show you how I process them. Now, I think part of the reason that these didn't get very big this year is that I planted them, instead of putting them in a big patch of onions where they got a lot of sun, I planted them all around some other plants like pepper plants and tomato plants, and I think they just didn't get enough sun to really help them grow. So I'll learn from that from next year. These are my red onions, and then I also did some white onions as well. So they've all been curing and they're ready to process. Now this was not a big onion harvest this year, so for the most part, I'm going to keep a couple of these larger onions, but honestly, most of my onions were tiny this year. I don't know, some years it just happens. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel them, I'm going to dice them, I'm going to freeze them, and then I'm going to have them to use throughout the year. This is going to be a big savings for me. I can use them for soups and casseroles and eggs and all kinds of things. So this will be really handy once it's done. I do this every year. Sometimes I braid the larger ones and use those over a couple months, but I do live in a warmer climate, so they don't last all year when I braid them. So this is a bowl of my white onions. I do have some larger onions here, but a lot of small ones, and these are my red onions. So let's go ahead and get these all cleaned up. So all I'm going to do initially is just start taking the skins off of the onions, and then I'm going to use my Vidalia onion chopper to take all of the, to dice these up for me so that they're ready for, for the freezer. And you can see, I mean, these are really good. They're really delicious. They're just very, very small. So this is kind of a tedious process, but the way I look at it, I do this one day out of the year, every year. I take care of my onions, and then I have them. I have them for as long as I need them. So it's just another money saver, and I have a lot of ways that I save money throughout the year, and in all honesty, I really need this money this year. I have, some big goals that my husband and I are trying to accomplish, and so that has to be top priority, is saving money this year. Now, if I have any bad spots, I just cut them off. I'm going to be freezing these so they're not sitting out on my counter and that kind of thing. And then as soon as I get done cleaning all these onions and getting them all peeled, then I'm going to run them through the chopper, and that will be a very easy process. So I'll bring you back as soon as I get to the point of washing these and getting them ready to go. But even this, you'll be surprised how much onion I'll get out of just having these onions peeled and chopped and diced and in the freezer. There'll be a lot of good stuff from these. Now these are my white onions. Some of these got a lot bigger. These are my Elisa Craigs. So the next thing I'm gonna do, I've got all of my onions cleaned and put through this water here. All I'm gonna do is just run them through my Vidalia onion chopper. And then as soon as I get all this done, I'm actually gonna let them dry for about an hour on these towels. And then I'm gonna be putting them in the freezer for another day. Well, I'm happy to report these onions are all chopped up, cleaned, chopped up, you know, diced up. They're drying now on some paper towels. And so as soon as I'm gonna wait about a half an hour or so, and then I'm gonna put them on some cookie sheets. I'm gonna stick them in the freezer and flash freeze them. And then I'm gonna have onions to last me for several months. Now, I also have the large onions that I get at the grocery store, so I'll continue to have those for sandwiches and things like that. But these are so nice to have in the freezer on demand when you're ready to put something together. So I hope this is helpful. I hope it gives you another idea how to preserve some of your harvest. If you're interested in this Vidalia onion chopper, I actually have it linked in my description below. I've actually bought other vegetable choppers in the past. This is the best one I've ever had. I've had this thing now for over 20 years and it works just like the day I got it. Very easy to clean, very easy to use, saves a ton of time. So thanks for watching today. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. Give me a like, a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.